Welcome back, guys. If you are just joining us, this is INX Prime Live. Remember, we are on your screens every single Monday to Friday between the hours of 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. Now, the not-for-profit organization Impact Catalyst is actually making many waves in an underprivileged rural community out in Limpopo. Now, the G pillar is now able to take a giant leap into the agriculture sector after years of struggle and are now able to produce about 400 crates of tomatoes every single week for the Johannesburg as well as the Tshwane produce market. Now, Godfrey Black, who is actually part of the Impact Catalyst Social Employment Fund project manager, he's going to just share with us a little bit more information as well as some of the positive stories. And he joins me now. Godfrey, thank you so much for joining us this evening on INX Prime Live.
Good evening, Zarif, and good evening to the viewers.
No, it's a pleasure having you, and thanks again for joining us. It's important to hear from you guys in particular. And I mean, at the end of the day, we all know society has been speaking about the township economy. We saw the government starting to put a lot of effort towards it over the last few years. So I'm glad that we're having this conversation. But please, can you share the background to the Impact Catalyst collaboration with the Social Employment Fund to develop this particular community's agricultural enterprise?
No, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity, Zarif. So, as you know, as part of the government broader economy recovery agenda, uh, the Impact Catalyst was actually appointed as a strategic implementing partner for the IDC, which is currently overseeing the Social Employment Fund. We call it SEF. And with that, it forms part of the presidential employment stimulus, which we actually aim to, create employment opportunities, counter job losses due to COVID-19, as you know, and ultimately create growth opportunities. So with that being said, we actually partnered with our donor partner, Anglo-Plex, which actually help us to actually harness the stakeholder relations. And they actually identified Kapila, the community farm, as one of the beneficiaries we can actually fund through Social Employment Fund. And with that, we actually have a great team of actually making sure that we are making this a success for the community of Kapila.
No, that's brilliant. I mean, we're looking at some of the visuals as well, and we can see the community getting very involved in this process. I do want to understand, though, I know that previously there was some attempts that were made by the community that were not very successful. I just wanted to know what interventions were made to the extent that it is now producing these 400 crates of tomatoes every single week for the market.
Zarif, as I indicated, we with our donor partners as Anglo-Plex and Monteview, we have got a great team to actually make sure that we have the right people in the business to actually, cascade down the skills that they've obtained over the years and make sure that they instill best practices on how to actually, farm to the commercial scale of standards. So what has happened is that previously you find that predominantly in rural areas, black farmers lack the technical knowledge to actually start from small scale farming to actually commercial stage. But however, with our team, we have managed to actually support the community with the skills or training, making sure that they from harvesting, packaging, costing, and selling, they're well equipped on actually how to do that. So hence for now, we can actually start harvesting 400 crates per week. And that is not even our optimum harvesting season. Our harvesting season is actually April and May. So we are looking for bigger and better things to come this harvesting season.
No, definitely. I mean, just looking at the township economy in South Africa, we know that it's obviously to the excess of a multi-billion rand industry, and it is growing exponentially as well because of the growth and exposure that's being given. But just looking at the importance and what the government's actually trying to push out, we know that they're trying to obviously empower communities that are not in your urban areas to be able to align them to a higher quality level. Now, what does this mean for the community in terms of food security and their financial well-being?
So I mean, with the skills transfer that we've imparted on our participants, we have the confidence to actually know that by now that should beyond SEF, they can actually start producing themselves, and with the networks that will be taught on how to actually establish, on how to actually get your produces to, your Johannesburg market and Tshwane market. That's where we actually are selling most of our produce from the Hapila Community Garden. So with that being said, we know that past SEF, they should be well equipped. They receive income for the duties that they actually are partaking in the community garden. So with that, it's funded through social employment fund, and it's a minimum wage, which actually assists a whole lot of families and households that have been poverty stricken before the program. And with that being said, they are imparting the same knowledge that they've learned from the program to some of their community members. Some of the community members have actually started having their own gardens and producing and selling locally, and that's creating a source of income for some of the community members.
No, definitely. And I mean, just looking at South Africa in particular, right, we understand that obviously corporate jobs and the employment space is quite difficult right now. There's a lot of unemployment in South Africa. So a lot of young people are looking towards entrepreneurship and finding multiple sources of income. I mean, some of the skills that you're mentioning right now, are skills that we actually want to teach our young people, like, for example, import and exporting, distribution channels, strategic partnerships. Stuff like this is really going to change the lifestyle of our young people in South Africa. I just want to talk about an exciting project that you guys actually have where you're going to be, exporting some gem tomatoes to Mozambique. Now, what is the potential market value? And do you see the Japila producers have the capacity or the capabilities to supply such a demand?
Well, with the reviews that we've been getting on the ground, I think we can confidently say that we have the capacity. Hence, we were able to actually, through Monteview, attract clients from Mozambique, whereby the gem tomato is actually quite in demand. So with that, we are actually operating on 2 hectares at the moment, and of which we are actually able to harvest those 400 crates per week. However, we are actually, through the instrumental role that the Hapila Community Development Trust played, we are actually able to secure another land, which is actually bigger. We're talking about 656 hectares, whereby we'll be not only focusing on gem tomatoes, but we'll be focusing on a variety of produces we can actually get out of that land. So with that being said, having the attention from foreign markets or borders or clients outside the borders of South Africa, that would actually put Hapila community on the map, and it will instill the sense of belonging and ownership of the Hapila community to actually see that they are actually making a difference within their communities. And with that, will attract more foreign clients, and the idea is to grow bigger and bigger. I mean, you can just imagine what we can do with 656 hectares of land.
Sure.
So the nice thing is that once we started making a name for ourselves, we know that the market is there.
No, I love that. And I mean, just, it's important to understand the vision and mission and also the values of a specific fund, for example. So looking at the SEF, how do benefits of the Social Employment Fund make possible jobs for, these 100 possible opportunities in place? I just want to understand, that in particular, and also to understand how are you guys planning on creating more jobs in the country?
Okay. So as I indicated, we are actually, Impact Catalyst is a non-profit company. So with that, all the proceedings that we make from the community garden are actually getting planted back in the community to ensure that sense of sustainability, so that in the future, if there's a need for such gardens, of which there will be, we can always have that sustainability factor that we can actually impart to the participants and the communities at large. So those are some of the benefits. I mean, our ultimate approach is that, teach a man how to fish and he will eat every day. So basically that's what we're doing. So even outside SEF participants can actually do their own thing and actually grow as individuals and as communities, because we don't want it to seem like you are tied to the SEF program simply because we could actually impart this set of skills to you. You are not. Even after SEF, you are able to actually make something for yourself. With the technical skills, the networks that you would have been taught how to actually establish and harness, that would actually be more beneficial to everyone that's actually partaking in the program.
No, I love that. And I love the work that you guys are definitely doing, Godfrey. Again, thank you so much for sharing all of this information with our audience as well. And people are very excited to see what can come from these different enterprises that you guys are going to empower so that South Africa can become a better country as well. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
No, thanks. Thanks, that is a pleasure all mine. And I would like to thank the SEF team for doing the exceptional work that they're doing, our donor partner, Anglo-Plex, and our implementing partner, Monteview.
Brilliant, guys. That is Godfrey Black, who is actually from the Impact Catalyst Social Employment Fund. He's a project manager there, just sharing with us some of the different projects, and more specifically this one where they are actually looking at growing and promoting agricultural enterprises in your rural communities. It sounds very exciting. We're definitely looking forward to hearing more about this.